Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you had a really great day trading today. So today was Tuesday, February 18th, and it was a pretty fun day. Maybe not in a volatility sense, but we stayed pretty flat in the middle, and this is really important to remember. When we have 3-day weekends, that is 3 days of theta burn that you get. So 3-day weekends, and we don't have another 3-day weekend for it's until May. It's something like Memorial Day when we have the next 3-day weekend. But this is something really important to remember. When we have that 3-day weekend, iron condors, iron butterflies are an awesome play. The day back after a 3-day weekend is typically very slow and very low volume, and we usually stay right in the middle of the implied move. So iron condors and iron butterflies paid today in a beautiful way. It wasn't a directional day. If you tried to play the directions, it was a tough day. But if you had flat plays on, you had a nice, easy day where you didn't have to do anything at all except for collect at expiration. So, with that being said, SPY, we had a pretty flat day today. You could see we opened right in the middle and stayed just underneath all-time highs, brought it back down after getting pushed down from all-time highs to the 35 EMA, and then we bounced. That last candle of the day, we did see a big push up to make new all-time highs. But we stayed well within the implied move, right in the middle of the trading range. So SPY, not a completely flat close, but right in the middle of the implied move. SPX, we saw the same thing over here. We opened slightly up, but underneath all-time highs. And for the whole day, we did trade underneath those all-time highs, dropped down to the 35 EMA right here, and then we bounced up and made new all-time highs with that closing candle. We stayed right in the middle of the implied move. And if you put a iron condor on or iron butterfly on Friday, and usually when I do it, it would be in that Friday closing candle, right during power hour, usually around 3:30, and that would have been a perfect close, staying well within the implied move. Now, I know I make these videos after markets close, so if you're pretty confident that we're going to stay within a 0.5%, then an iron butterfly is a great choice. And with that, you sell the at the money 50 delta strike and you buy the 15 or as close to that as you can. And if you just want a generally flat, non-directional iron condor, then 35 delta is a good strike to sell, and then buy the 15. And likewise, sometimes I also do, if I really want to get nice and wide with even less risk than 20 delta, sell the 20 delta, buy the 15. I'll make a video on this later. You can combine them as well, which is what I do often on days that I'm pretty sure it's going to be flat. So often after a big move, we have a few flat days, and of course after 3-day weekends. So that was a lot to take in. I promise I'll make a video on that at some point. So SPY yesterday closed up 0.29%, SPX up 0.24%, VIX, we have moved on to the next day. I don't know where VIX closed yesterday, but I'm pretty sure it closed down. In pre-market, I think we're up, and we did close within the implied move. So QQQ had a very similar day yesterday. Opening candle made new all-time highs, and then from there we brought it back down into the red, staying above the 35 EMA. We did get that red signal line pretty much from the second candle, and from there we did drop it down to the 35 EMA, and then we did see a bounce back into the green off that level. So new all-time highs for QQQ, and we closed up 1.22%. VXN up 6.66%. That's a decent pop for volatility in QQQ. And we did stay within the implied move here. So again, really awesome for 3-day weekend flat setups. If you had condors and butterflies, then all you had to do was watch and see how much you were up. You didn't have to think today. And that is definitely a reason to love 3-day weekends. All right, and then IWM. IWM had an interesting day. We did open slightly up and then pushed up above the 50-day moving average. I always say don't go long at a downward facing moving average. We took it up to that first resistance and got pushed right back down, taking it back to the 50-day moving average, dropped down to the 35 EMA, and then we did see that bounce just like in the other two on that 35 EMA to close up. So IWM had the biggest up day, up 0.55%. And we did close within the implied move. This too would have closed up with iron condors and iron butterflies. It's a little more than 0.5%, but IWM volatility is a little bit higher, and we would have closed up. The butterflies maybe would have given a little bit, but the condors for sure would have paid here today. So DIA we have last here, and we did open down here. And remember, 35 EMA is underneath the 30-minute 200 moving average. So we went into this bearish, and when we dropped, we came back up to the 30-minute 200 moving average. We saw that as resistance. From there, we dropped it down. 35 EMA went even lower than the 30-minute 200 moving average. And then when we did pop back up, we closed just underneath that 30-minute 200 moving average. So 35 EMA is still bearish here. We did get that bearish signal back here, and this was on the 10th. So that would be Monday of last week. We dropped underneath, and that is a bearish signal. So it is a fade the pop situation. You can see that was true every time. So we are still bearish, 35 EMA underneath the 30-minute 200 moving average, and a red signal line. So treat these two as resistance until this 35 EMA can cross above the 30-minute 200 moving average. Right now, futures are down 0.25%, so it looks like we're getting pulled back away from there to start the day. And right here, we are definitely right in the middle of the implied move. If you did put on butterflies or condors on Friday, remember that would be on the 5-day or whatever the Friday is, 7-day contract from Friday. So that would be on this contract over here. And as of right now, condors are definitely the play, as well as butterflies. And the butterflies will pay as long as we stay relatively flat for the week. So that is a recap of the first day of the week. So let's close this video here, and today's trading levels are going to be out on TradingView right before markets open. I'm going to start working on those right now. At some point, I will be bringing those back into the videos, but for now, still out on TradingView. So link to that below, and have fun today, trade safe, make sure you take profits when you're up, and I will see you guys tonight.